Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I come in here completely humbled today. I am exhausted. Plot twist show up that are kind of making me sit and think about, contemplate. These energies we had two more solar flares earlier today, and I will tell you, I could not peel myself out of bed today. I came on here yesterday saying that I was extremely exhausted from the just the energies of the last couple of days, and went to bed. I was so happy to go to bed last night just because I was like, finally, I could like just sleep good, and I couldn't peel myself out, but finally I did, and saw that we had two more solar flares, and so we are getting pummeled. We this influx of light is no joke, and I say that simply because I know if it's messing with me the way that it is, there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff going on. I keep saying that, but I'm pretty in tuned with the cycle now, and um, as I in the last 24 hours, there have been conversational plot twists that have shown up for me that have left me in that same phase that we know so well, just riding a wave, sitting with it. What is mine to own? What is mine to really take a look at? And at one point this morning, I felt myself, it wasn't, it's interesting because it wasn't like a spinning. I was going to say, I found myself spinning. And what that used to mean is the spinning of my mind, like, "Brrr, what if I do this? What if I do that? What if I do this? What if I do that? What if I do this? And if I go this way, da, 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 da," and kind of, all of the monkey mind kind of stuff. This was different. This was a spinning of discernment is what I'm going to call it. And I kept getting the words. I wrote them down because like why do I keep hearing this? But it kept saying take your foot off the gas. Take the foot off the gas. And as I kind of like pulled back a little bit from what the discernment was sorting out, I realized that taking our foot off the gas is what we are is a skill set as well. In these 90 days, we're fine tuning many skill sets, and it is the skill set of being. I'm learning this whole new world as you are. So as I settle into the being and experience and experiment with more of the being states of consciousness, I'm learning new depths of it, new subtleties to it, as you all are too, which is why each of our perspectives is so important to be shared so we can kind of piece them all together. But as I sat there from my perspective, thinking, these plot twists, they keep pulling up. And this is the spinning that was going on. Okay. So it was again different from the monkey mind. It was such profound deepness and awareness of what I was of the conversation that I had last night after the daily tune in, which was the plot twist. And as I kept going over this, I was going through all of the different directions. You know, how can I deal with this? Which way do I want to go? How do I want? And then I kept hearing, take your foot off the gas, take the foot off the gas. And at one point, I finally got it, took a step back, and just the question then became, it was so simplified for the discernment, was, do you want to take it or leave it? Do you want to take it or leave it? And what I realized was I was being asked to simplify the process of awareness, the process of discernment. And the question was coming boiling down to such simplicity of it being the scenario that is being presented to take a look at, the timeline that is being presented in this plot twist. Is it something I want to take, or is it something I want to leave in And what that means to me is, do I want to leave it not necessarily behind, or do I want to just kind of leave it for a second and allow it to be with it, allow it to be with what it is, and come back to it after I'm in a higher perspective to be able to look at it from a different perspective. Because what was happening was, it was becoming more of a logical thing, as opposed to a being thing, as opposed to a multidimensional choice and an awareness. So what I believe that we are being asked to take a look at and to practice is how we are discerning from moment to moment, because moment to moment is a plot twist. And it literally is. It is in a now moment. The plot twist comes with every moment of, do I take this moment or do I leave it? Do I take it or do I leave it? And that really is a skill set that's allowing us to simplify from moment to moment so that we can be more in it and more present to it. If there's anything in it that's disrupting the peace or the calm, it's a question of, do I take this thing? Do I take this moment and take it with me into a higher expression? If the answer is no, then in that moment we take the foot off the gas and allow ourselves to put it aside in however that may be. Whether it be in a conversation, whether it be in movement of some sort, in stepping away, or putting a new boundary up, whatever it means to us to kind of put it aside. This is pretty general, but if the answer is yes, I would take this in a heartbeat because I love this, adds to my higher self, it adds to my higher experience of reality, then we know to keep rolling with that wave. So again, I'm not saying anything that y'all don't know. And what I think is so interesting about these 90 days is, again, when I started, I thought, oh, we're going to be taught things. We're going to be, and yet the training is all about execution, 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 executing what we already know, executing the skill sets that of consciousness that we have talked about for 6 months, that we have practiced here on the daily tune in, the practices that we have put into place for years now, since all of us awakened and got on this pathway. We have found all of these different skill sets. Many of us have the certifications, we've learned the knowledge, we have acquired enough of the law of one basically. Like, it's simple. We do not have to be in a constant state of learning and growing, or not growing, um, a constant state of learning and grasping for knowledge in this moment. This is when we take our foot off the gas, stop searching and pulling in more information, and allow ourselves to integrate into these beings and really be with the process of discernment, really be with the process of awareness. What is in this now moment? I'm going to take my foot off the gas and pull back in observer mode and determine, what do I want to take right now, or what do I want to leave? I'm going to take something or I'm going to leave it in this now moment. And this is how we really start to shave off the smaller, even just like the smaller pieces of maybe the our old paradigm, of what we held before, in the when we were mostly affixed to the 3D physical world. Now we are ascending higher into the 4D, and into the beginning stages of the 5D frequencies. And those are very different realities. They're very different. So there's a lot of these 3D, um, not attachments, but 3D things that we are really now having to look at. It's the small things. We've worked on a lot of the big things, and those will still keep coming up, or being, those will still be resolved as you work through with these energies coming in, as you work through those things. But now we're also getting to that point where we're just fine tuning and tidying up even like the loose ends, the small little loose ends. And those are coming with little mini plot twists that don't feel major. But remember, these plot twists are so subtle. They're so subtle, but they make a really big difference. they make a big difference, which is why we are being asked to fine tune the skill set of discernment and ask, do I really want to take this, or do I really need to leave this? And some of these things are hard to um, decide and discern from logic, which is why the fine tuning is then to remember to take the foot off the gas, drop down into our hearts, and practice the discernment in that present moment of whatever that plot twist, whatever that choice is, whether it's what am I going to have for dinner or what am I going to do with this relationship. Like the gamut is our practice ground at this point. And the more we practice our awareness of every now moment, the more that we can practice discernment of what do I take with me, what do I leave behind, and also we remember those moments where we take the foot off the gas and say, you know what, I need to rest here for a second. And that's the other thing too. That was the other big message, with for me and from my perspective today, and being so like really like heavy tired. We went for a walk, went to the beach, and I swear to God, every step felt like every my legs weighed 50 pounds each. It was the craziest thing. I just felt heavy, but not emotionally heavy at all. It was like my body felt heavy, like lugging it around. I think it's the light body is really coming online now. So these physical suits, these physical beings, that the body that we have is really starting to become more obvious. And there's something to that. I'm not really sure what that is, but I was really shocked at how heavy my body felt. And as I was walking, I knew I was doing in that moment. I was like, do I take this or do I leave this? Because I didn't want to go for a walk with my body feeling so heavy. But I had to leave behind the old, I'm gonna go, ball up on the couch, and just, there's a time and a place for that. But I knew for myself today, actually, it wasn't the right time for me to ball up on the couch. I got out, we took a walk, went to the beach, had a beautiful little lunch, and on the way back, like I kept hearing myself say, like, good job, you took something with you, and that is the skill set of always getting out so I can see a different perspective. Because if I just sat on the couch and bead with myself, in those moments, I don't think that I would have traveled where I did, so to speak, in awareness, had I not been with this process in nature, by the beach, the water, the air, nature itself started to wash over. My perspective had changed. And so much of what I felt like was wanting to work itself out, I was working it out, worked itself out. And at the end of the day, what it came down to was just be with what is. Just be with what is. And that's been very much a theme, and for months now, months. And what I'm finding is it's getting easier and easier for me to be with what is, because I have no control over anything else outside of me. The only thing I know now to do is take my foot off the gas, allow it to be what it is. And if there's anything that I don't want to take with it, I don't want to say deal with it, but I ask for a solution. And if there's more to it, I ask for the lesson. So awareness and discernment are the big lessons for today. I'm gonna check in with you all, because I'm just feeling like, yeah, that whole like disassociated thing. It's been like almost a week of feeling this, and like keeping my feet like on the ground and keeping myself grounded has been the biggest work this week. So I mean, this is something else that we're experiencing here with and I keep saying with these energies, and I want to laugh at myself because I wish there was another way, but this influx of light that's coming in is really powerful. Let's see. Greetings, beautiful souls. Hello. Hi, Kazembe. Welcome. Michelle says, Jeepers, a massive head pain started on Thursday and is not gone yet. Chiropractor later this morning to help. This is a potent shift. Yeah, there's potency all over these things. The other thing, just some physical stuff. Last night, it was so fascinating. My solar plexus was like I could it was like spasming, that area, but when I put my hand on it, I couldn't feel it. It wasn't a physical thing. It was like I would, kind of actually I'll show you. I would like push down and try to feel the spasm within, but it was fully an energetic thing. And it was like it just kind of felt like someone would kept, kind of doing this and like almost like shocking. The what I just got was like it was almost as if like energetically it was being shocked back into health and well-being. If a heart stops, the defibrillator will shock the heart back into working. It like felt kind of like that, and it went on for just like the constant like and to the point where it almost got annoying. But when I finally was like, so interesting, I sat with it for a second, and then I was like, okay, wait, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. And it is there's a huge recalibration going on of our lower chakra system. And it's like stomachs are like the big thing. I've seen it all over the place too. People are like, I'm nauseous. My friend Pat was with us last night, and he left here and texted me and he was like, I just threw up. And I was like, well, yes, those energies. And he just laughs and makes fun of me for saying it. And at the same time, he sometimes tunes in and listens to what I'm saying. And I think he's kind of catching on to the fact that I'm not completely crazy and I know what I'm talking about. But it's just, he's slowly expanding into this speak. And but anyway, so he had all the reasons why he threw up, but I had all the reasons why he threw up, which started with the energy. And these have been really powerful days, and physically we're all feeling it. So like Kathy said, so sleepy last night, crown tingling, feeling the downloads, and also hard to wake this morning, feeling tender in the low back, guts grumbling, very potent. Yeah, almost all of that too, Kathy. I feel that as well. My lower back, yeah, but that's also, if we think about the lower back, that's associated with the root chakra, which is our survival stuff. So it makes sense that there's a recalibration of the lower chakras going on. So it's pulling out any densities in the body that are associated with those chakras. So yeah, lower back pain, shoulders too, lots of tightness, lots of like all of the stuff that we've shouldered as light workers over the year. I'll take that on. And oh, you're pissed off over there, I'll take that for you. And oh, you're about to have a a breakdown, I'll take that. And then all of a sudden we're just like, I'm taking everybody's stuff. And as we've been letting go and clearing and cleansing all of this stuff, now our shoulders, our muscles that were a lot of the muscles that we've held a lot of um, densities energetic densities in our bodies. The muscles have been depleted of oxygen and have tightened up for many of us, in the shoulders, down down the back. So it's really, really important that we're taking care of those areas at this point. And just allowing all of the aches and pains to work themselves out as gently and as naturally as we can. I've also been doing massages. I did a long massage on Bud yesterday because he's been a mess. And I bring like big rocks home from the beach to rub and do like a hot, I don't actually heat them up because it's just too warm, but they're nice and cool. But I've been using these rocks on his back because in like that's earth, bringing earth into massages. So if you can go out into nature and pull nature into your self-care, that is healing energy. That rock has consciousness. It is part of earth. And when two or more are gathered, so in it's not in my mind, it is 100% my belief. And all of us as beings on this planet who connect so greatly to spirit and into nature, we understand that the consciousness of nature is the highest frequency that can be available here on earth. So if we bring that in and incorporate rocks and incorporate crystals and all of that into our self-care, it's almost an add-on to our healing. So yeah, same Kathy. We're all feeling it, guts grumbling. I've been very bloated, very bloated. My stomach has been so bloated. Michelle says, yes, I've been in a state of just wanting to be doing my daily energy work, but now I just want to play in my already built reality. No more info for the moment. That's how I feel. Yeah, like, and I mean, it's been kind of building up to that for me for months, like months. But I'm at the point now where like I am really resistant to go online. I'm really resistant to find, to read or to click on links. And it's amazing how much I've moved away pretty quickly to what's going on in the world and keeping up with that. It's just my consciousness will not allow me to even like wonder about it. Because a couple times I'm like, what is going on with that whole thing over there? And I'll go look and I'll read one headline and be like, oh, now who cares? I know what's going on over there. So that's been an interesting experience of mine too. I have zero qualms about what's happening in this world. And I'm noticing that it's really becoming more about what's happening in my world, like where and I see myself kind of going inward more and more and more. So our journey inward is still continuing. I'm noticing, I'm like, oh, I'm an inward person, but I'm seeing myself just come, kind of like cocooning in and wanting to be on my own. Brenna says, I have been heavy for 3 days. I haven't been able to get through the day without napping. Yeah, me too, Brenna. Because Emily says, yes, been feeling heavy this past week, literally sleepy all the time. Isn't that interesting? I love this stuff. Everyone is feeling the same, pretty much the same thing. And it's intense too. Like to the point where, a few minutes ago, I was sitting there kind of like gathering myself for the daily tune in. And I had to get up and walk around because I was like, if my eyes shut, they are not coming back open today. Because it's like a really heavy, dense, like sleep, a need to sleep. It's kind of cool. We have also moved fully into the age of Aquarius over the weekend. We did a New Year's Aquarius type quiet celebration on Friday and Saturday. Very cool, Michelle. I like that. Yes, but that solar plexus stuff, I did a Reiki session last night and that one hit hard, gut grumbling. I'm experiencing many of the same symptoms, including constant pressure on my third eye for 3 days. And it's funny, we also 3 days is an interesting thing. I'm just noticing. I don't know what that means, but I literally heard myself say to Bud the other day, I was like, honey, or actually the other day, it feels like the other day. It's like this morning on our walk. I was like, I'm just like for 3 days, I've been this tired. And it's just so obvious. So 3 days is interesting. I'm experiencing. Oh yeah, and the third eye too, Marie. I feel that too. Like there's this like a lot of work, like, and when I say work, I that's mine. That because when I'm feeling, all of a sudden I become aware of pressure, my third eye. That's when I'm usually like, okay, there's something coming, there's something here for me. And my skill set that I know that I'm working on is just allowing the visions, allowing the updates and the understanding to just filter in on its own time. But when I feel the downloads coming, I'm right there, like as it's coming in, being like, okay, and I'm just trying to. My mind wants to catch up with it. So I'm having to be more aware and discern in that moment. Do I want to take this practice of trying to figure out the download as soon as it comes in, or do I want to leave that and elevate myself to a new practice of just noticing, oh, I'm getting a download, and go on to to be in that moment, whatever with whatever it is that I'm doing, whether I'm just being, whether I'm cooking, just allowing it to come in, knowing that the information that is integrating in that download in that third eye area will integrate all the way down into the being, and we can even ask it, I integrate this energy coming in, and I look forward to having it be clear and concise when it's finally needed, when I have to access this wisdom that is now coming in and peacefully allowing itself to ground down into my energy and into my being in the perfect and divine moment. This energy or this wisdom, this data needs to be revealed. I ask that it light up with clarity and ease. Ground it down, abracadabra, so it is. I'm going to stir these beans. That's how I do all day long. I'm always affirming and affirming and affirming. So anywhere that I'm finding discomfort or dis-ease in these now moments, the discernment then becomes, do I want to keep doing it this way because it feels a little uncomfortable, or do would I like to change and affirm and transform how this moment would transpire. I think that's really kind of the meaning of the now moment discernment, is really being fine tuned at the moment. I'm experiencing marriage. Okay. Feels like my walking on air sometimes too. It's wild. Yeah. I emailed one of our Ascension Bank members today, and I was telling her that I feel um like for days I've felt very disassociated, like where I'm in two worlds, but I can't decide, like, you know, we've been talking about this. Like, this experience is pretty common now. Like, we know this. So again, when I'm experiencing, I'm like, oh, there's been a pretty big quantum jump. So I have one foot still, where I was, and I have another foot in another space. And I'm just, the integration is what moves me into that unified being. So that disassociation, I know we know it grounds down eventually, but kind of until it does, it is very disorienting. Do the Hara process on your belly. Okay, I don't know what that is, but I will look that up. That sounds familiar, Christine. And you have, I like your practices that you've been sharing in the Ascension Bank. Kathy says, yes, totally need to pull away from info except DTI. Sorry, folks, glitching just now. Yeah, so we're all in this. It's a very, very interesting time, especially in this past week with all of this activity, with this influx of light, uh, excuse me, with all of the things showing up. It's almost as if we're being bombarded with all of these different things, but it doesn't feel as overwhelming. It's just until something is fully on autopilot and in the unconscious, it still is an act of full awareness until we fully refine these skill sets, so they just become our subconscious and unconscious behaviors. So that's what's happening. It's a complete reprogram of our spiritual, energetic, and physical bodies in unison. And it's just taken us a little bit of work, but it's just kind of like, learning to stick shift, in the car. Like, you have to really think about where's first, and okay, clutch, and let go of the clutch, and put the gas in, and then so there's a lot of steps. But eventually, before you know it, you're shifting and you're doing the thing, you're downshifting, and you're moving into another lane, and it's just easy. So we are just downshifting at the moment to pause and to really catch up with the skill sets that we really want to take into that subconscious, unconscious parts of us, so that we're just always on autopilot as the higher expression of love in every given moment. So we don't have to constantly be, aware. We just will be. That's where we are. So thank you all so much. Tomorrow we do have our Ascension Bank members weekly gathering, and I'd like to invite you there tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit special because there's some interesting ideas popping up about the Ascension Bank, and there's some amazing, because of the amazing work that we're doing, and I just feel like we're coming together as a cohesive group in a way that's being called for more of our members to be a part in some way. And I would love to have some different perspectives of what this might look like and what would serve you all best in the Ascension Bank. What are we all as a community needing? What kind of support are we required? Not required. Are we wanting? How, where we are in this process? We're all resonating at a similar resonance, because we can have this conversation, and this community is so what it is. It's beautiful. But what do we all need as a collective to rise up together again? So tomorrow's gathering is going to be a little bit of that conversation, and really up leveling how you think of yourself. How, where are you now, and what would you like to bring, and can you be a part of the Ascension Bank to serve the collective and bring your beautiful gifts. So I'm not sure what that looks like, but I'd like to ask our members about it. So if you can make an effort to be there, I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you'd like to be a part of a community that's growing and figuring out what it looks like to be a 5D community, and you want to be a part of that conversation, come join us. It's $22 a month in our community, and that's you get a lot of value for that. So Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. I'm just affirming that these storehouse moments are these plot twists that show up. They don't always right out of the bat. They don't always look exciting. They don't always look like they are a payment. But every single storehouse moment is a payment of some sort for us to take us higher, to take us even into a higher expression of ourselves, and even into a higher expression of this planet. As each of us rises up, we see new perspectives, we share our perspectives, and we simply just be in the moment of every perspective so that we can see exactly where we stand. We can take our foot off the gas, appreciate our journey, and allow ourselves to rest and integrate and give ourselves permission to simply be in the process of integration. Rest, 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 sweet souls. Allow your being to hear that rest and water and the process of integration is being called forth in an urgent matter, in an urgent way. So please take care of yourself. I leave this intention into the beautiful quantum field for it to be nurtured and delivered back to every soul who hears this and every soul who is in a higher consciousness of the I am presence, which is pretty much everybody, that each person also gives themselves permission to rest on this beautiful day. I release this, I let this go, I let it be, and so it is. Abracadabra. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. Thanks for letting me come in here as humbly tired as I am. I really do appreciate you all being here, and I love this platform. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.